And there I was the girl from Suits.
This One's Wife, deleted. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Jack Royston, a pro-Sussex journalist, reports in Newsweek, royals delete Prince Harry's statement that made King furious. Prince Harry's statement, admonishing the British media for the racial undertones of comment pieces about This One's Wife, has been taken down from the royal family's official website, Newsweek can reveal. Harry instructed then Kensington Palace Communications Secretary Jason Knorth to issue a public broadside against the press in November 2016, just days after the Duke of Sussex's relationship with This One's Wife became public knowledge. Now, pausing there. At the time, any criticism by the press of This One's Wife naturally threatened her need for control. In this early part of their relationship, Harry was very much ensconced in the golden period. She was seducing him. She was flattering him, complimenting him, supporting him, mirroring his likes and dislikes, undoubtedly giving him lashings of spicy poontang, and the ginger whinger lapped it up. As a consequence of his susceptibility by virtue of his various vulnerabilities and his emotional thinking, he didn't see that a narcissist was ensnaring him. He didn't even see the various red flags that were flying. He basically appeared to be thinking with his dick. And in part, that was applicable. But ultimately what was happening was that he was being manipulated in a benign fashion, or using benign manipulations, and he didn't see it. He thought that he'd got an amazing, wonderful girlfriend. And as a consequence of his emotional empathy for her, he deemed that any criticism of her was inappropriate. Indeed, she will have complained to him about what the British media had been stating. He won't have injected the issue of race. He'll have been oblivious to it because he's not exactly subtle or intelligent. But she will have utilised, even at that early stage, the race card for the purposes of playing the victim. Harry, they're being racist towards me. I need you to do something. Look, there's one tear coming from my left eye. And Harry, completely taken in by the actress who is acting again, naturally, through his empathic traits of compassion and caring, and also his narcissistic traits of defiance, resentment, and argumentativeness, picks up the cudgel and decides, something must be done. I'm not having the press criticising the love of my life. I'm not having the press be racist towards her. Yes, I can see that they're being racist. She's pointed it out to me, and I recognise that now. So I'm now going to issue an instruction to my communications secretary to issue a broadside. Rather than just ignore what the press write, which has ordinarily been the position of the royal family, This One's Wife, of course, is stung by it. And ordinarily, Harry might have said, just ignore them, that's the press for you, I don't like them either, but you'll learn to live with it. It's testament to the extent of his infatuation with her, the way that he fell for her, that he was motivated to respond in a non-traditional fashion by issuing this broadside. The fact that he did so early on in their relationship demonstrates that he was already sunk within her control, that he, driven by his own good intentions, had those harnessed by her so that she could utilize them to indirectly nullify the threat to control posed by what the press were writing about her. The Newsweek article continues by explaining that for more than 7 years, that lengthy and strongly worded statement was recorded for posterity on the royal.uk website, where the monarchy posts press releases, profiles, and official announcements. Now, though, the link has stopped working, and the Internet Archive site, Wayback Machine, last successfully recorded a functioning version of it on December the 3rd, 2023. A further attempt to archive the page on December the 10th was unsuccessful, suggesting it was deleted sometime in between. So it's taken a number of months before anybody's actually noticed that it's gone. It was a major moment in Harry's life, as it was the first definitive indication of his now well-established desire to fight the press over its coverage of both himself and this one's wife. And in his book, Spare, Harry said it left King Charles III and Prince William furious because it made them look bad for not defending their own wives in the same way. Well, it might have been the case that they were furious, or that might have been another concoction. After all, there were plenty of those in Spare. Ordinarily, of course, they just took the stance of never complain, never explain, and just to ignore it, rather than embracing the press or taking the press head on. It might have been the case that they were furious as a consequence of what Harry had done. We don't know. The now deleted statement came days after an article in the Mail on Sunday proclaiming Harry's girl is almost straight out of Compton. Gang-scarred home of her mother revealed. So will he be dropping by for tea? Kensington Palace released a statement on November the 8th, 2016, attributed to the Communications Secretary to Prince Harry, which read, "The past week has seen a line crossed. His girlfriend, this one's wife, has been subject to a wave of abuse and harassment. Some of this has been very public. The smear on the front page of a national newspaper, the racial undertones of comment pieces, and the outright sexism and racism of social media trolls and web article comments. Some of it has been hidden from the public, the nightly legal battles to keep defamatory stories out of papers, her mother having to struggle past photographers in order to get to her front door, the attempts of reporters and photographers to gain illegal entry to her home, and the calls to police that followed. The substantial bribes offered by papers to her ex-boyfriend, the bombardment of nearly every friend, co-worker and loved one in her life. Prince Harry is worried about, soon-to-be this one's wife's safety, and is deeply disappointed that he has not been able to protect her. It is not right that a few months into a relationship with him, that soon-to-be this one's wife should be subjected to such a storm. He knows commentators will say this is the price she has to pay, and that this is all part of the game. He strongly disagrees. This is not a game, it is her life and his." Thus, that was the statement that was issued at the time, which clearly was as a response as a consequence of pressure brought to bear by the narcissist upon him, doling out a pity play, playing the victim, and him putting on his armour and riding in like the White Knight. The article continues by explaining it's not entirely clear what precipitated its removal. Newsweek reached out to Kensington Palace and Buckingham Palace for comment. The removal will be as a consequence of an order given to remove it for the purposes of demonstrating to this one's wife and Harry that they're not as important as they think they are. Undoubtedly, it will have been issued by King Charles as part of him asserting his control over the two of them by eradicating something from their past. A provocation that's been issued and has finally been picked up upon, which was done for the purposes of enabling the king to assert control by causing the deletion of this statement to basically say to Harry and to this one's wife, you're no longer part of the team. This, of course, is a further indicator of the resilience and resistance that has been exhibited by the King and Prince William to the gruesome twosome ever making a return to the royal family. And, of course, it will be played out by this one's wife as a further attack upon her, and that she would utilise it as a pity play. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.